Hello, welcome to Tai Chi Movements for Wellbeing, or Tai Chi Movement for Mindfulness, as I like to call it. This is one of my favourite sessions of the week. So what we've got is a beautiful sequence of flowing movements. We're looking to promote relaxation, really think about our breathing, and by really focusing internally on our body, we're hopefully going to finish the sequence feeling a lot more relaxed, maybe a lot more centered and grounding than we did in the start. So I think it's a wonderful session to do on a Monday, starting the week. I'm not sure what you feel, but if you're with me, you're with me. But of course, you can do this at any time on the recorded link. So we are going to be using a space. Now, you can do this sequence standing. You can do it seated. I have my chair here. I tend to revert to type, but if anyone would like me to do a sequence seated, get in touch. But if you are seated, what you do want to make sure of is that you can feel those feet on the floor and that we can sit up nice and tall. So you can use the chair to support your lower back if you need it, but try and stand tall. And what will still happen, there's still some leg movement coming through, so you still get the benefits of leg strength. Now, I've got a drink here, so if you do like to have a drink halfway through, just have something available to you and make sure you feel well. This is not a session to be done if you've got an illness, particularly if you've got a fever. One small note is that some of the movements kind of almost a sort of circling effect, and it might make you feel a little bit dizzy. My recommendation is that if you do suffer from any sort of dizziness at any point, keep the movements quite small, build up to it slowly, and recognize if anything makes you feel odd, because we can just focus on our breathing for one of the movements and then focus on joining in with the movements that work for you. So if you're ready, I'm ready. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to hit the wall behind me. So I'm just going to swing my arms a little bit just to make sure we're okay. And then I'm going to stand, feel the floor beneath my feet, really focus. And you'll notice that I do this with my shoes off. You can do this with shoes on. You can do this with non-slip socks on, whatever works for you. As I say, you can do it seated. You can do it just visualizing the movement and focusing on your breath. You don't have to move at all. So when you feel those feet firmly on the floor, just notice that ground under your feet. We're going to gently take your weight into the front of your foot, and then we're going to bring your weight into the back of your foot. We're just noticing that subtle change from the ball of the foot to the heel. And we're going to make those movements smaller and smaller till we arrive at that midpoint where your weight feels centered. Once you're there, we're going to soften those knees ever so slightly. You're going to rub your hands together. Notice the hands, the skin, the palms, the fingers. And then place those hands over that face. Let that head rest in those hands. Breathe out. And then taking those hands away, we're going to hit that rubbing movement again. See if you can create a little bit of heat there, some friction. And then again, I like to let my head just rest in those hands. It's almost a safe space, your space. We can drop the mask and just be ourselves. And then one last time. As you take these hands over the face, notice how skin feels, the contours of your cheekbones, of your brow bones. And then when you feel ready, come away from those hands. Let those arms relax. You might want to move those feet a little bit. Then we're going to come into our self-massage. So I'm going to take these fingertips. Just going to show you. And I'm almost moving from the forearm, just dancing these fingertips over the back of my head, over the top of my head. I'm exploring this skull. I'm exploring all around the hairline. I'm noticing that my hands are telling me where they want me to go. So listen in. Where does the body tell your hands to go? It's really interesting. They just seem to know instinctively where you need this little massage. And then we're going to relax those hands. Take the massage to your neck. So I'm going to make a light fist. You can use those fingertips. Remember, you can use that smoothing action. I'm going to pay a little bit of attention to the neck. Just going to turn so you can see. And then I'm going to come down to the shoulder. So shoulders quite tight at the moment. So I'm going to pay them a little bit of attention. A little bit of attention. And then I'm going to come down the outside of my arm. Looking out for any signs. Anything the body wants me to know. All seems fairly okay. And then I'm going to come back up. Palm inside of this arm, all the way up to that shoulder. Just relax these arms. Notice how they feel now. Is there any difference between the arm that's been massaged and the arm that hasn't? This one feels sort of uber tight. I feel really unbalanced, and I'm not sure if everyone feels the same. So let's see if we can take it to this side. And again, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to this neck, stimulating blood flow to the area. So because we don't want you to hurt yourself, but we just want to increase the blood flow to that area. Increase the amount of healing that's being done. So if you do feel tight there, just pay a little bit more attention to the areas that you feel need it. And then we'll come down the outside of that arm. And again, if there's an area you think, oh, yeah, I want to do a little bit more then, you pay some attention to it. No catch-up required. And again, just let those arms relax now, and now see how they feel. Now we've done both sides. So now we're going to take this massage to the chest. Pay a little bit more attention to the chest if you've maybe picked up a cold. Maybe you've got a little bit of hay fever. Okay, just a little bit more attention. And then if you've got any digestive issues, we'll pay a little bit more attention to this digestive system. Again, it's all about stimulating movement and flow. Stimulating movement and flow. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. And then we're going to come around to that lower back, to those kidneys. And again, as many taps as you feel you need. And then down the backs of these thighs, down the backs of these thighs. Now we can bend these knees. If you're not sure about your lower back, bend those knees a little bit. Only go as far as you feel comfortable. We don't have to reach the toes. Back up the inside. And then I'm going to pay a little bit of tension to these little mini glutes. And then we're going to come down the outside. And again, just as far as you feel comfortable. You don't have to force this movement. Back at the inside, and then finally down the front. So we're going to pay some attention to those quads, those muscles in the front of the legs. I'm going to come around here. And we'll just shake out those legs. Shake out those legs. Good. All right. So we're going to take a moment to find that stance that we focused on at the start. We want to be stable. Too narrow, and we'll be almost sort of like a piece of grass blowing in the wind, very easily pushed over. too wide, and we're just too static. So we'll play around with that foot position to become roughly in line with those hips. We're going to think about these shoulders. We're going to think about softness today. Softness in the shoulders, softness in the face, the hands, and the feet. See if we can engage, squeeze those shoulders up and allow softness to take over. Allow the shoulders to fall. Allow them to become soft. And as we do that again, take a breath in through your nose. It's a deliberate breath. It's a full breath, but it's not a gasp. We're not trying too hard. It can make you feel quite dizzy if we try too hard. So explore. Explore the base of those lungs and then push that breath out through the mouth as we soften. Notice how far the shoulders will actually go once we start to soften. How far will they actually fall away from the ears? Keep going. Keep going. Just let those arms hang. Now, from that leg straight position, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what we're doing. We're going to imagine that big long tail's not quite at your heels, and we're just going to gently bend those knees. It's more of a take the knees off lock than a bend. And as we take them on lock, we're just going to allow these hands to open. As if you had just a big globe, light, not heavy, resting in the crook of those arms. Now on that next outward breath, we're going to see if we can connect that left hand to your right foot, that right hand to your left foot. Notice that weight transfer from both feet through to that right foot, back to both feet, and almost spiraling down into that left foot. Soft shoulders, soft breath out, full but soft breath in. Imagine that you're breathing through that shoulder, arm, all the way through to those fingertips. It's called diagonal repatterning. Now we're going to just take that weight from that right foot into the left. And let those hips just gently swing. And we're going to let those arms totally relax. So this is why it's really important at the start to get that area around you free of any obstacles. If you've got obstacles, just keep those arms quite low. You might feel you can let that head go. Good. But we've got that connection to the floor with both feet. Try not to twist those knees if you can avoid it. It's all that movement in the hips rather than the knees. And then just going to let those arms find their way home. So I'm straightening out my legs as I breathe in, and as I breathe out again, settling like that boat in water. The arms rise. It's our vital organ warm-up. So we're going to open up that left side of the body. Imagine you had this weightless globe resting in your arms. And then with that globe in the body, we're going to open up that right side of the body. And then we're going to lift your chest gently over that ball. Open up that lower back, almost lengthening that back, bringing it back up. And then we're going to open up this abdomen, just gently lifting that chest, keeping that nice relaxed neck and head. And then we're going to link those moves. So let's see if we can open up that back. And then we're going to roll around to the side, open up that left side of the body. Roll up to that utmost point, open up that abdomen. Open up the right side of the body. So we're almost making a circle around 4 points of the compass. Breathing in as we come up to north. As we circle down towards south, we're breathing out. Breathing in. Relaxing that head, relaxing that neck. Breathing out. So the hips just still are not moving at all. It's these muscles between the rib cage and the pelvis that are doing all the work. Shoulders are soft. Breathing is soft. Face is soft. Let's change direction. Going down to south. Breathing out. Circling around up to north. Breathing in. So there's no beginning. There's no end. Just circling around this midpoint of the compass. Chin, neck, face, soft. You may notice this movement between the ribs and the pelvis. You may notice this compression, open. It's a wonderful movement to help with all sorts of intestinal issues. Gets that movement, gets that flow. And then just relaxing those shoulders, letting those hands soften, arms soften, flying like wild geese. Breathing in, breathing out. Finding your breathing pattern. The joy of doing this at home is that we can listen to our own breathing. You don't have to move with me. It's as if by breathing in, you're moving those arms with breath alone. And by breathing out, again, those arms move with your breath. Imagine that helium balloon under each elbow. As we breathe in, the helium balloon floats up, floats wide. And you let a little bit of air out of it. It supports those elbows down. Heaven and earth. So I'm going to turn so you can see this movement from the side. You don't have to look. Breath in. So the movement's starting in the ground, finishing in the ground. Just picture the spine as we rise up, that long spine, proud but relaxed. As these palms trace back down, imagine them tracing down your spine, through the lower part, through that tailbone, and then down that imaginary tail to your heel. And then we're going to open to the day. So remember that softness. And breathe out. Find the softness in this movement. The hands, and the forearms, and the upper arms, in the chest, that softness in the shoulders, and the neck. And we're going to flex the sky, breathing in. As we breathe out, just bending those knees, taking one palm over the back of the hand, breathing in, so the heels stay down. Find the softness. Find that soft limit where we're moving with fullness, but moving within our range, within our capabilities, not forcing, not pushing into pain. We're flowing. Let's change that movement to rowing. So find the softness. Breathing out. Find the softness. As you breathe in. So how do we find the softness if this feels uncomfortable? Find the movement that works for you. Maybe a smaller movement. Find the softness. One more. Let that weight come through the leg, lower leg. Feel those feet connected to the ground. Feel that movement down. We can straighten out those legs as we breathe in. And again, as we breathe out, placing that tail down. Gazing at the moon. Again, allowing that weight to come down through that left leg and back to both legs. And again. Find the softness with two hands. The flow. Soft hands. Soft arms. Soft shoulders. Soft neck. And come in. Come into you. Move those feet a little bit. if you need to. You're going to take that natural step. So we can look at this foot as we move it away from center, from 12 on that clock face, maybe to 11 or 10. Turn those hips and let that weight come into that leg. We're almost balancing, lifting this heel up on this leg and then placing that heel down, rolling through to that whole foot, turning those hips to face forward. And again, finding that long spine, remembering that tail, lifting the tail up and then allowing that tail to come back down to the floor. And then finding this circle, this sense of something that's coming from here, from your center. Softening those shoulders. And transfer that weight. Just check that foot position. If it feels wrong, just come back into it. Try it again. And then when you feel ready, we're going to breathe into this back foot. We're going to breathe out into this front foot. Here am I. Soft, but strong. Gentle, but challenging. Think about all the amazing things you've done, that you still do, that you tell people is nothing. Now appreciate who you are and what you do. And then we're going to slide this foot backwards, turn this foot in, and we're back to that original position. If you find you come back and it's slightly out or too wide, you may be taking wide or too narrow steps. So let's try it again with that right foot now. On that heel, just gently turning somewhere between 1 and 2 on that clock face, maybe a bit further if you know. And then we're going to turn those hips that way to face that 1 o'clock. And then stepping out with that heel, rolling through to the ball of the foot. And then if you think, no, I got it wrong, you can try it again. So our natural step, we just practice movement back, forwards, hips facing forwards. So allow those hands to connect with your center. And then we're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out. Breathe in. Here am I. So move those negative thoughts that might have crept in when I asked you to think about the amazing things you do. It doesn't have to be unusual. There's a lot of wonder in the everyday. The things we take for granted that we do without thinking. So remember how amazing you are. Each one of us is special. And again, as we place that tail down, just allow those palms to connect with this really important center. Soften those shoulders. We'll allow those hands to come closer, draw apart. There may be some sense of recognition between the palms. We're going to play with that. We're going to bring that right hand over the left, palms facing your belly. Draw that right hand, waving hands like clouds. So find the softness in this move. Playing with those hands, playing with that magic sand, catching it, then letting it go, catching it, becoming the top hand, becoming the lower hand. Softness. Our 5 elements, starting, tail down, shoulders soft, breathing in, breathing out. We've had so much rain. It's been difficult to be outside and appreciate the wonders of nature. So we're going to use our imagination. We're going to think about the green trees, grass, everywhere. It's green. I'm going to think about how that comes with help from the rain, from that water that nourishes, but also from the sunlight. I'm going to think about that sun, that light, how it changes everything. Think about the light. Standing there for a moment. And then when you feel ready, you're going to take the weight through this right leg. You're going to draw a circle of well-being over that head, and then that weight's coming through that left leg, back to both, through the right, and we're breathing in, we're breathing out. Circle is right for us. So if we do get dizzy, we're going to keep that head over the heart. Make the circle smaller. You might find you like to use this as a sort of tension release as you breathe out. And then we'll change direction. So imagine this line of well-being, drawing it around ourselves, drawing this circle, ready for us to step into. We finished our sequence. And then just allowing those arms to fall. Now move to complete our sequence. Return to center. That rise and the fall. Rise up from the ground. Breathing in, breathing out. Finding that softness in the shoulder. That connection to the ground. And standing within yourself, centered, for a few moments. And then becoming aware of some of the sounds around us. Hear the seagulls outside. Whoop. And just wiggling those feet a little bit. You might want to shake those arms out a little bit. And this might be a chance for you to have a little break. This might be a chance for you to finish. For those of you who feel that sort of half an hour, it's almost 40 minutes, is enough for you, then that's absolutely fine. It's really nice to be able to do 2 sequences, but 1 sequence is plenty if that's all you've got time for. So the first one tends to be a little bit longer, and what we'll do is we'll do the second sequence with 3 moves. So I'm going to have a little sip of water, and if you need to do the same. So with our warm up this time, I'm just going to come into the rubbing of the hands, but I'm not going to come into the tapping. I feel that we're all in the zone. We're ready to go. So when you feel you're in a comfortable position, soft shoulders, feet connected, feel that floor. If you're going to create some friction between those palms. And then resting. Resting in those hands. When you feel ready, bringing those hands away. Placing that tail down. At the same time, those arms rising up. Diagonal repatterning. Noticing that weight transfer. Spiraling down through that right leg. Almost pushing that foot up through the ground. Creating that movement. It's as if the movement comes from the ground. That connection between the left and the right side of the body. And then coming back. Again, that weight transfer between left and right. Letting those arms go. Remembering that softness, softness in the neck, finding that softness in the face, shoulders. And when the legs stop, the arms just take a little bit of time to settle. Just find that globe. Find that center. Let's take that vital organ warmer. And roll round those 3 points of the compass. So there's movement, there's flow all around these intestines. Softness in the neck and the face. We're just relaxing that head, not holding it too rigid. And as we breathe out, we're going to change direction. Breathing in as we open. Breathing out. Allowing these arms to settle. Almost heavy. We're going to push down into that floor, softening those knees. We're going to breathe in and then out. It's the ground giving us this height, this movement. Goes up, it comes down. Helium balloon. Heaven and earth. Circle. Taking that softness, allowing it to move through the feet, through the toes. Those toes are soft. Legs, pelvis, soft. It's that soft welcome. Open to the day. Breathing in. It's as if we're breathing into your armpits and sweeping down, flexing that sky. Heels stay down. Breathing in. As we breathe out, letting that neck relax. Letting those shoulders relax. Letting that head soften. And reversing that movement. And again, soften those shoulders. Find the softness in these circles. Let the legs, let the arms work together. Synchronize. Settling. Tail down. Gazing at the moon. Just that softness. That flow. No beginning, no end. As soon as we come to the end, come back to the start. As we come back to the start, we move again. It's flow. So that natural step. So again, just taking your time with this, turning that left foot away from center, and then allowing those hips to turn as we sink down into this foot, stepping out not too far with that heel, rolling through to the ball of the foot, bringing the hips back to center, just allowing the tail to settle down, coming from this center, opening out. So, breathing in, breathing out. This is who we are. Not perfect. No one is. And that's what makes us interesting. Bringing the leading foot back, changing sides, not forgetting to turn those hips as we take that weight away. Heel, roll through to the ball of that foot, hips, tail, and again, breath in. Soften those hands, those arms, that face. That right hand over the left, moving to that right, waving hands like clouds. Soft shoulders, soft hands, soft elbows. Again, as you breathe out, placing that tail down, it's like that settling, grounded. And then you can hear the rain. Such a gentle sound on the windows. It's a comforting sound. We can enjoy it. Remember that nothing stays the same. The sun will come. We'll just enjoy that sound of the rain. our circle of well-being. Draw this circle over and around. Listening to your back, listening to your head, listening to your body, breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Softening those knees. Breathing in. Returning to center. So remembering this movement. You can remember no others. You would like to start maybe practicing as part of your routine. Maybe a couple of minutes daily. This is such a simple one to remember. Softening of the shoulders, drawing of the breath in, and that breath out. Feeling those feet connected to the floor. Feeling all of yourself within you, centered, grounded. So we're just going to listen out, whether you can hear the rain too, or whether it's sounds of traffic or bird song, whatever it is, just start to engage with it. Bring yourself back into the room. I'm just going to have a little shake of these arms, shake of these legs and the feet. That's good, just what works for you. So I absolutely loved being with you today. That is, that has been the high point of my week so far, because I feel really anchored. I hope you enjoyed, and look forward to seeing you at the next session. So won't be a live one next week. There's a bank holiday, but I might put the recorded link to this one because I enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.